Hello, lovelies. Welcome back to Esther's song. So today I want to share with you all something that's on my heart, a love letter of faith. And faith is so important because it will help get us through the hard times, to help navigate the storms of life, to keep us grounded and give us something to focus on, to center on during times of trial, or even feeling like, maybe you're in despair, right? Recently, I've lost a lot of people close to me that have passed away very recently. Um, as we all know, we're still in the COVID pandemic. But I wanted to share with you something that the Lord placed on my heart, and it was a message of faith, and that faith without works is dead. And so that was a message for me because I was praying earlier today, and just lamenting. I don't know whoever said that people in the Bible didn't complain. There's a whole chapter called Lamentations, right, where they're just lamenting. And that's all throughout the Bible, right? Like David cried out to the Lord, Job during his suffering cried out to the Lord. And so I did the same. They're much more wise than than I am. But I was just, commenting on how difficult things are. And one thing that the Lord reminded me is that, faith without works is dead. Like, I can't just sit around and complain about it. I have to actually do something about it, And so I'm really grateful for that. One, it was, inspiring and motivating. But two, just to remind myself that, I'm not a tree, like I can move, that we have much more control over our lives than we, realize. And when I say we, of course, I'm talking about myself and my own shortcomings, but I wanted to, come on here and make a video that was encouraging, and for us to remember that faith without works is dead, and that we can move the needle in the direction that we want to go, that we have the opportunity to become motivated and to move forward and to accelerate the things in our lives. Um, you know, yes, it's great to pray, and yes, it's great to, cry out to the Lord, and it's great to, meditate on His word and His goodness. But our faith is one that, we walk by faith as Christians, which means that, we don't just say something and not put our actions behind it. So I'm really grateful to the Lord for that reminder, because it is easy to get discouraged sometimes when you look around at your current circumstances and you're not where you want to be. I definitely believe in self-improvement. I try to become at least 1% better every single day. And sometimes when the results don't come as quickly as I would, like them to come, that could be discouraging sometimes. I'm sure I'm not alone in that. I remember when I was younger, working out even, right? Like, I used to be really into fitness. It's been a little difficult, with us being in the house for the past 2 years because of COVID. And so I set my alarm to go to the gym Monday morning. But it is a little bit more difficult now that I'm a little bit older. However, this is my body. This is the Lord's temple, and I really want to honor that, and I really want to honor, myself. I want to honor the Lord. I want to build my body up. One of my favorite scriptures is, 1 Corinthians 9:27, where Paul talks about his fitness journey. He's actually using it as a metaphor for his spiritual journey, where he compares himself to an athlete training, right? Where he says that, and I'm paraphrasing, but during that chapter, 1 Corinthians 9, he is discussing how athletes, they go after a physical prize, right? A medal. But Christians, we strive after a spiritual prize. But then he also finishes the chapter, verse 27. He says, where I keep under my body and I make it, my slave, my submission, I make it submit unto me, lest when I preach to others, I myself would be disqualified. And I think that that's so powerful, because one of the fruits of the Spirit is self-control. And so if we as Christians can model that, to the world, if we can, be that love and light and salt that we're called to be. And, like I said, this is just a reminder to myself, but if I can, get back into the physical shape that I used to be in, and everyone's different, obviously, but like with me, I miss, like having, like being really toned and having a six pack. And those things are my goals, to get back into that kind of lean, muscular shape that I was in before. Then, I will just feel so much better about myself. Like, I actually feel healthier when you're more fit. So that's one of my goals. So I can't, obviously sit on the couch or, just be like, oh Lord, I want to get fit. Like, no, I have to like put in the work, right? Do the repetitions. And same with my spiritual life, right? The Lord said, if we ask, if we seek, if we knock, it shall be given unto us. So we have to make that concerted effort. And what I want to, share with all of you is that if you continue to, walk by faith and, draw near to the Lord, He'll draw close to you. And so I'm just, like I said, I'm just really grateful. And I really wanted to just share that, that the Lord laid on my heart. It's so great to, to have faith, and it's so great to pray, and it's so great to do those things. But, in Hebrews, which is the faith chapter, and I'll make a devotional about that as well, Hebrews 11. But it gives us all these examples, right, of the prophets who came before us that showed what they believed, that showed their strength of their faith by their actions, right? Moses going into Egypt, for his people to be delivered. And there's just all Hebrews 11 is just, example after example after example after example. And so that's what I want. I want to leave a legacy of an example, like I don't even want to have anybody question my faith or, what I believed by, just how I live. And don't get me wrong, I've made so many mistakes in my life, you guys. I'm not trying to come on here and act like I am, this untouchable saint, because trust me, I am, definitely imperfect by all means. Even Paul, when he was Saul, before he converted, he used to kill Christians. And no one in the Bible is without sin. None of us are, but at the same time, we can continuously work toward that, 1% improvement every single day, that we can, be better than we were yesterday. And we can have a walk of faith that honors God, right? Despite David and his screw ups with Bathsheba, the Lord said, that David has a heart after his own. And I think that's so beautiful, because the only person that didn't sin was Jesus. That's it. He was here for 33 years, God in the flesh, lived a perfect life, and he was still crucified. I look at, like Martin Luther King Jr., he was, of course, not perfect, but he was also assassinated. So it's just like, there's not a guarantee, right? That if you live a holy life, that you won't encounter hardships, because you absolutely will. This world is really brutal and really cruel, but I want to send a love letter of encouragement and a love letter of, faith, that you can walk by faith. It's possible. And the Lord helps us do that every single day. If we continue to, you know, ask Him to trust Him, continue to read His Word, continue to fellowship. If you're able to, like I said, I know with COVID restrictions and regulations, they differ, in countries and cities and things like that. But I still like to listen to, sermons online. One of my favorite is Brooklyn Tabernacle in Brooklyn, New York. Pastor Jim Cymbala, I love his ministry, and in the choir. His wife Carol runs the choir. Very diverse, very, um, you know, ministers to me, to my spirit. But but yeah, that's where I love to get, um, to get that fellowship, um, to get that nourishment, that spiritual nourishment, from a shepherd online, that he gives a really godly message. So with that, brothers and sisters, like I said, I just wanted to encourage all of you to continue to walk by faith and not by sight. Ask the Lord to help you to do so, and He will. Continue to love one another, be gentle with yourselves and each other. Please like and subscribe my channel, and I will talk with you all next time. Take care of yourselves. Goodbye.